match of the afternoon session. Two more places up for grabs in the quarterfinals of the European darts match play here in Hamburg, and one of them will go to either Alan Norris, the number 9 seed, or the qualifier Peter Hudson, who is having a tournament to remember. Already today we have seen some truly astonishing stuff. No fewer than 39 180s. The previous match between Joe Cullen and Vincent van der Voort producing 8 alone. Stephen Bunting with 7, Christo Reyes with 7. Van der Voort ended the tournament with 15 of them in total. And we've had matches going the distance. We've had near misses on the 9 dart legs as well. And for these two, a golden opportunity to go one step further as well. Rock Hudson, has he got one more match in at least here? Came through qualifying, beat Brendan Dolan 6-1, and then of course that astonishing encounter with Kim Huybrechts yesterday. Huybrechts squandering 8 match darts. But Hudson now with a crack at Alan Norris for a place in the quarterfinals and a potential meeting with the world number 1 Michael van Gerwen, although Mervyn King will have plenty to say about that. Dan Dawson alongside me for this one.
Yeah, 2 big men up on stage. Only room for one of them in the final session of action here in Hamburg. Can Peter
First
Hudson
leg,
do
Alan
it?
to throw first. Game on.
We have one of the unseeded players in the final session of action this evening. That is the Bullet Stephen Bunting. He overcame another qualifier in Kyle Anderson earlier with a 103 average, and really the standard this afternoon has been fantastic. If we get 2 games to round off this afternoon session in a similar vein, we're in for a treat, because it has been scintillating stuff. And Peter Hudson's finishing has been the rock upon which this challenge this weekend has been built. He only missed 1 dart at double in that opening round win. It was pretty convincing yesterday as well.
140.
And let's not forget, he does have a semi-final this year on the Pro Tour to his
55.
name.
Yeah, that was in the first UK Open qualifier, when he beat Mervyn King as well, so maybe the two could meet again. Beat him 6-0 as well.
Well, we'll have to check the record books, because although we have seen unseeded players go on and win these tournaments, I'm struggling to remember the last time we saw somebody without a tour card make the final session of action.
Yeah.
Which is what Peter Hudson is attempting to do here.
60.
Admittedly, he's not started very well.
$90.
Well, Huybrechts led 5-2 in that match yesterday. I was just going to question whether it had taken anything out of Peter Hudson. Too early to tell so far, even though he is some way adrift of Alan Norris in this one.
Alan, you require 88.
But then Huybrechts just had this inability to get over the line. He was on 64 in the 8th leg. He hit a 7 and then missed 1 match dart at tops and then bust his score in the next visit. In the 10th, he hit a 7 again when he was on 56. And then he missed a dart at tops. And then in the 11th, he missed 3 darts at tops and double 10.
59.
Yeah, he looked dead and buried, Peter Hudson, but he's
Alan,
found a way
32.
somehow to come through it. To be honest, he looked dead and buried in this leg. He has got down to a finish eventually, but Alan Norris, having already missed darts for this one. Finally, pins double 8, and it is 1-0 to the winner of the German Darts Championship last year. It was the final Euro Tour event of the year. Alan Norris beating Jelle Klaassen in the final of that one.
136.
Won another PDC title at the start of this year on the Pro Tour. Has 3 to his name now, Alan Norris. Former Lakeside World Championship finalist, of course.
58.
I think it was Hudson who set the tone for the weekend with that 161 checkout in the very first match on Friday 59. Against Brendan Dolan when he beat him 6-1. Some of the checkouts this weekend have been pretty special indeed.
Yeah, seen 161s and 164s and 167s. There's been all sorts. Plenty of time for more as well. This one going to be played at a bit more of a sedate pace compared to the last game, which saw Vincent van der Voort and Joe Cullen rattle through 10 legs.
136.
Only came up with the one previous encounter for these two when I was doing a little bit of homework prior to the start of play. They did meet at the end of last year on the Players' Championship circuit, the final Players' Championship event of last year in October. Norris winning at 6-5 in the first round. Who would have thought then that they would be on the final day stage in a Euro Tour event?
135.
Playing for a place in the quarterfinals. Hudson 65 to level things up. Oh, he's hit the bullseye, so 15 away. Double four.
61.
Now then, Norris 70.
You require 70.
Is it treble 18 or is it treble 10? What route will it be for Chuck? 20 for tops. Taking a moment. Expect a large celebration if this goes in.
30.
Just a
If you require
scowl
4.
in the end from Chuck. In the madhouse. And there it is. Peter Hudson does get a first leg on the board. Levels this one up.
To throw first. Game on. 59.
Yeah, you mentioned Norris's success in Hildesheim at the end of last year. In that very same tournament, Hudson was beaten 6-0 by Chizzy in the second round.
137.
Having beaten Vincent van der Voort in the opener. Made another appearance on the European circuit last year in the German Masters in Munich. He went out in the first round at the hands of René
96.
Idams that day as well, 6-1. As Dan said, didn't secure his tour card at Q School in 2017.
140.
So he's been topping up the fields here and there.
Yeah, he's beaten some significant names this year, Peter Hudson. I mean, obviously that run to semi-final in the UK Open qualifiers is the standout moment. It's a standout moment of his career, really, Peter Hudson. He did win a Challenge Tour a couple of years back, but when you look at the players he beat Mervyn King, who he could face next, potentially. Rob Cross, Benito van der Pas. It was only Peter Wright who did for him. But Peter Wright won half of those UK Open qualifiers and started this year like an absolute monster. Norris is in a spot of bother here.
118.
Good last start.
If you got 124.
1-2-4 for Hudson for a break of throw, though. Great first start. Easing himself into this game, hasn't he, Peter Hudson?
85.
Couldn't find the bullseye.
128.
Norris will start on the 18s. He may only get a dart at the bull himself. May not even get that. Needs to find one treble. Treble 20 he needs. Gets it. Closer than Hudson, but still not close enough. So for a break of throw and to go into the lead, Peter Hudson, this weekend's just surprise package, doesn't even cover it.
29.
He's not there yet, though, is he? And, well, anguish on the face of Peter Hudson. Well, if Norris doesn't take this out, oh, well, that's one less opportunity now. 13 away, what a mess. Alan Norris. Double four. Blowing his hands, pacing around. He looks a bit agitated here, Alan Norris. And he's even
17.
more agitated now as well. And that first start really
If you require 10.
knocked him off his stride there. And Peter Hudson's back once again here. What a strange leg this has been.
Only just in that one.
Only just. Double two.
8.
And the agony goes on for
Alan, you
Peter
require
Hudson. Will it continue
8.
here for Alan Norris? He's absolutely livid with himself. So many opportunities.
In short, in the third leg, Alan Norris.
Well, it's a
will
good job
take
that wasn't the
Peter's
deciding leg, Dan.
reverse.
Otherwise, you'd have been
Game on.
racking up your mismatched dart
Well,
opportunities.
It's a curious
some.
one, isn't it? I mean, we've had 2 legs there where Peter Hudson, he's won one on double
100.
one, missed double one to win it. Norris has gone out on double 4. It is not hitting the heights of the stuff we've seen so far this afternoon.
It certainly isn't.
Not yet, at any rate. And Peter Hudson actually started off that leg very well. But it all just got a bit
125.
messy towards the end.
Marco Cantilli was the opponent for Alan Norris in his opening match. He beat him 6-3, the Nordic-Baltic
100.
qualifier. Averaged only 81 yesterday, Alan Norris in that one. I think it was the lowest average of the winners yesterday. 1-1-2, check out the highlights along the way.
Well, he has just been away on holiday, Alan Norris. He's got a bit of colour
100.
to him. Been on holiday. Took his mum to Madeira.
Lovely.
Nice, isn't it?
Did he go to the Ronaldo Museum, do you think?
Well, no, he didn't even know that the
Oslo
airport
Connection.
was named after. He certainly didn't know that statue there was
That
Ronaldo.
hideous statue that, I don't know, it looks more like George Best than Cristiano
Yeah,
Ronaldo.
looks more like all sorts of people than Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, he didn't realise. But I'm not sure how much practicing Alan was able to do while he was away.
52.
Yes, it is hot here.
$140.
10-40 for Hudson. Again, he started off this leg okay. 61 left after 4 visits to the board. But it was the back end of legs that has been the problem for Peter Hudson, where his finishing was so good. Started this tournament, absolutely unreal finishing
84.
on the Friday.
61.
And indeed, it was pretty good yesterday. But so far today, it's been a different story. Double 18. Can he turn it around? Yes, he can.
That's nicely done.
Peter Hudson.
Well, that's more like it. That's what we've
Big
been
Alan to
served
throw
up today.
first.
Very
Game on.
crisp finishing. None of this missed starts at double 4 and double 2. And that was a clean take from Peter Hudson. George Noble, by the way, back on reffing duty for this one. What price this one going?
96.
6-5. I think he's had 9 so far this weekend. George, 11 legs, Noble.
96.
Fearing the worst once again. On a very hot stage, might I add. Those glasses might be steaming up with condensation soon as well.
140.
Yep, still hot here.
2,500 fans here in Insel Park, Halle.
140.
Peter Hudson just missing out on the chance to give him something to jump up and down about. Missing out on the 180. Single 19 leaves 170, but that is even better. Leaves the 132.
Both averages in the 80s at the moment. Time for those to pick up over the course of this one as they settle into some sort of rhythm, but Hudson not showing any signs of doing that just now.
199 remaining there for Peter Hudson, so needs to find a treble.
126. Alan, you require 132.
Got to go for it. Looks inviting if he can hit the treble 19, but he's a long way off.
Blowing the hands, wiping the hands, doing all he can to just wrestle some
52.
control here.
Peter, you require 139.
Ooh, it's on. It is on. Oh.
117.
Misses by quite some distance on the
Alan,
double,
you
Peter
require
Hudson, but very
80.
nearly producing a big check out to break the throw and go 3-2 up.
Yeah, and that really would have got the crowd going as well. There's just been a bit of a lull, which is understandable anyway, given the high-octane stuff we've seen so far.
Oh, Alan, what are you doing? What are you doing?
He did this
No score.
yesterday against Cantilli, and we questioned the wisdom of the time that he did it.
Well, look, Peter Hudson's on double 11 here, and he could come inside, he could miss, he could allow Alan Norris back to the board. And if he does, Alan Norris should have been coming back with 3 darts at double top. In the end, he would have been coming back looking at 80 and maybe done exactly the same thing. Once you miss that first dart at tops, surely you have to come down.
To throw first.
Certainly with the last dart. It's academic anyway, because we do have a break of throw, and Peter Hudson, the rank outsider before play started today. What were his odds?
250 to 1.
250 to 1. Well, he's halfway to a place in the quarterfinals.
I think there's a general cap on outsiders these days, ever since Leicester City.
58.
It's not just in football and Premier League betting, it encompasses all sports now. Seems to be a ceiling on what you can offer. But
60.
yeah, Alan Norris yesterday against Cantilli, we really, both Paul and I, questioned the wisdom of doing that, given the situation of the state of play and where Cantilli was in the game, and he was on a finish, or it was a big finish, but it was a risk. And there we saw Hudson was waiting on double 11, and that debate will continue.
Well, he does go his own ways, Alan Norris, and he's completely
85.
unashamed about his routes for things. If he's taking out a big combination checkout, he'll often go for the odd number first. If he's got 142, for example, he'll often go treble 14 first dart, finally treble 20 top. Not many other players would do that. I'm not really sure what his thinking behind it is. I did try and get him to explain it, but he basically just countered with, "That's the way I go."
60.
And there's not much you can say in response to that either, is there?
I also think 150, I would imagine Alan Norris is going to go for the bullseye first.
He did that yesterday as well. Now this is...
Again, I'm not sure it's the wisest decision to make, but this is what Alan Norris does.
I'll have to double check, but that might have been in the same leg as well.
Oh, well, no, he's gone treble 20 this time. Well, curious. That's just the way he goes.
90.
Picks a couple of treble 19s, leaves 31 in the end. Peter Hudson for a 4-2 lead. It looks inviting for that treble 20. Oh, he's gone tops. And it pays off! What a finish, Peter Hudson.
Oh, that's how you do it, Alan Norris.
Game on.
Well, I have got absolutely no idea why he went tops when it looked so good to follow that first dart into the treble 20 then leave double 10. But he went that way. He hit it. He's 4-2 up. 2 legs away from a first ever Euro Tour quarter-final, and to continue his unlikely charge into the final session of action.
I mean, it's a big enough story. Cristo Reyes reaching his first Euro Tour quarter-final, but Peter Hudson as well doesn't even have Talker.
Well, the Reyes-Hudson final dream is on. Can you imagine the Rock and the Spartan duking it out for £25,000 at about 10 o'clock tonight? It could happen.
And they'll be mopping the sweat off the floor.
Again, it's a lovely image that you've painted there.
That's just Reyes and Hudson.
Well, what he should say is that Alan Norris can kick into gear at any time, but a 180 from Peter Hudson. That's his first.
64.
First of the match. 40th of the day.
64.
Knocks the 64 off Alan Norris to leave 100.
And you require 100.
Now, treble 20 for tops. Tops, again? Yeah, well, he's got it. And at least this time he's registered some points.
61.
Surely not. No.
I thought for a moment we were going to see another Peter Hudson special.
As he did yesterday. Oh, sorry, day one against Brendan Dolan.
41.
Yeah, 1-2-1 check out against Kim Huybrechts as well, let's not forget.
40.
Yeah, it was a crucial one to take out as well.
And he was 6 min 11 on his doubles as well yesterday, was
Aim sure to the
Hudson.
seventh flag.
Very, very good performance, but Norris,
Peter to throw first.
well,
Game.
holds. That was the immediate priority for him.
When Norris went on to claim his first European
60.
Tour title at the German Darts Championship, the back end of last year, he had to come from behind in the final against Jelle Klaassen, and did so with just a big, noisy, bouncy assault on the dartboard. But it is a subdued Chuck Norris we're seeing here today, basically because he's not hitting the heights that he expects of himself. Missed too many darts at double, had too many poor visits, and
58.
Peter Hudson is being allowed to not stroll, it's more of a slog, to be honest, but he's getting there slowly.
And on the European Tour, he's feeling the pressure of that new regulation that we talked about. New rule brought in by the PDC this year. Seeded players lose their first game in the second round, and the prize money does not count towards your ranking. And that's happened 3 times for Alan Norris this year in Europe.
96.
Yeah, big chunks of cash that he's missed out on there. He was level with Dal Gurney at the start of this tournament in the world rankings, dead level. We know that Dal Gurney has been knocked out in this stage this afternoon by Mensur Suljovic. If Alan Norris can turn this around and book his place in the quarterfinals, then he will go above Dal Gurney and be closing the gap onto Gerwyn Price, who's just above him in that 17th spot.
96. And you record 121.
Getting the top 16, all sorts of doors open for you. Getting things like the Masters, your seed at places like the Matchplay.
Yeah, Norris made his debut at the World Matchplay last year as well. Won the opening leg against Gary Anderson, but after that,
45.
it was
Didn't get much better, did it?
one-way traffic, wasn't it? It was absolutely, well, jump behind the sofa time, wasn't it, for Alan Norris fans? 10-1.
59. And you require 76.
Well, for the break and a level game again. 16. A double top.
56.
Pulls it a bit low. This
You require
would be
132.
some shot. The Rock looks at the ball. The Rock hits the ball. Is there room for another, or does he go treble 14? He does go treble 14. He's not a million miles away.
65. And you require 20.
Would have been really, really special had that gone. Again, Norris not in a hurry here, is he? This for a break then.
No
Well,
score.
he's busted his score. Echoes of Ian Wright at the UK Open there.
67.
And that could be a fatal blow. Double top for 5-3. Oh, Peter
47.
Hudson. One dart missed for
And
a
you require
5-3
20.
lead. Alan Norris to break and become the favourite for this game once more.
Some way inside, double 5, and he's busted his score again, this time with a bit more venom and a bit more anger, rather than inadvertently finding the double 15.
Well, Alan Norris is trying all sorts of things. He's trying to dry his hands. He's trying to take his time. It's just not there for him at the minute. Can Peter Hudson take advantage? Shaking his head. He's made it awkward. His darts are kicking over, covering that bed. Where's he going? He's going over to the right hand. No, he's back over to the left.
Thank you.
Doing the hokey-cokey up on stage. Peter Hudson.
Oh, you just knew it was not going to be. It was a really awkward lie. And
20.
Alan Norris, he's constantly using his towel and wiping his hands on his shirt. You can see his sponsors. He's done it
no
again!
score.
How has this happened? For a second time in this leg, Alan Norris has not
Peter,
only
you
busted his score, he
require
has busted first dart, doing himself out of more darts for the leg. Peter Hudson, this is a gift. One for double 2. Double 2.
well, I've seen it all now this weekend.
Nine flag, Allen to throw first.
Drama of
Game
a
on.
very, very different kind.
Wow. When Ian White did that at the UK Open in the quarterfinals, and that was match darts, remember, against Gerwyn Price, and then saw Gerwyn Price take out a 160 to win, I thought that was going to be the most ludicrous accidental double 15 I ever saw. I'm not sure I anticipated somebody doing it twice in the same leg, first dart and a visit. But Alan Norris is duly obliged here in Hamburg today. He is still not out of this. As poorly as Alan Norris is playing, he is still not out of this. They've kind of dragged each other down here. But Norris knows a hold of throw.
100.
Makes it 5-4. Break and hold, he gets the job done. And he gives himself a chance to play his best game this evening. But
45.
you can see he's absolutely livid with himself.
$59.
Peter Hudson might go through with an average of not much more than 80 here. Been that sort of encounter, but he will not care one iota about that. Oh, and that just sums up Alan Norris's afternoon. Chance here for Hudson to win the darts over.
Needs to stay straight.
And he does.
Yeah, it gets down to the 161. There we go.
That's how warm it is.
Yeah, Alan Norris, I mean, he's so angry with himself, so furious, that even the Happy Bet logo refuses to stick to him. It feels that having the word happy branded on his shirt is completely unfitting for his current situation.
Well, he's chipped off the 1 here, Hudson, and he's chipped off the 61. Oh, and 60 more as well. Well, what an opportunity here for Peter Hudson. The stuff of dreams for the 33-year-old from Eccles for a place in the Euro Tour quarterfinals here in Hamburg at the European Darts Match Play. He needs tops. He took out tops before, and he takes out tops there as well. And Hudson, a 6-3 winner. And the remarkable story continues here in Hamburg. He is through to the quarterfinals of the European Darts Match Play, where he will face either Mervyn King or the world champion and the world #1 Michael van Gerwen. They are on the stage next, by the way. But having seen off Kim Huybrechts 6-5 yesterday in dramatic circumstances, altogether very different dramatic circumstances in that one. The average is nothing to write home about, but Peter Hudson will not care one jot. 80.6 in the end, but it'll do because Alan Norris just simply did not get going today, and he is on his way home. Hudson advances. We'll see him again tonight from 7 o'clock in the last 8. On the way, MVG against Mervyn King.
So Peter, congratulations. First time quarter-final European Tour.
Not bad for a bad player.
Why this weekend? Why is it now? Why does it happen now?
I don't know, it's my dad's 65th birthday. Maybe I'm doing it for him, it's his birthday. So.
Yeah, it was interesting match. You were struggling both.
No, it wasn't a good game. Before we come out, me and Alan said, come on, we'll have a good game. We both played terrible, to be honest with you. So it was last man standing.
Could be Michael van Gerwen in the quarters?
Yeah.
Have you played him?
I have, yeah.
How was it?
I've got beat 6-4 and 6-5 off him. So,
okay, let's see. Thank you very much. Peter Hudson. Steht also im Viertelfinale.